I think court is handling the issue of Sarah Bireete. And
has she been charged?
Yes.
The court is still handling, and we need to wait for that.
Has she been charged?
No, she hasn't been. And I can tell you extraordinarily, the other day, when she appeared at Buganda Road, I was one of the 4 jurors, especially excellent people. And then the magistrate, even without objection from the state, said, okay, we give state 3 weeks, to go ahead and respond to the lead defense counsel. It was one of the most shocking events and incidents I've ever had in court. It's really massively shameful. And for a woman living behind her children, and for a magistrate who herself is, I believe, a mother, it's a shame. I think the judicial process and the judicial system in this country ought to look at themselves inward.
Yes, thank you, Oscar. I respect my senior, Joseph Ochieno, so much. He has come out loudly to challenge the decisions of young people who subscribe to the national resistance movement. It's only unfortunate that Joseph Ochieno didn't have the opportunity to run for presidency. Probably would have been in a position to make a proper judgment when he has been presented to the Ugandans. But with research, growing up, we consumed a lot of information that made President Museveni look something that we had not known, because they would tell us all things about him. But doing research, reading and understanding how President Museveni has steered the country for the last 40 years, I made an individual decision to join the national resistance movement.
That's fair enough.
And commenting on the question that you put on the floor, whether NRM is going to win big or small, I can tell you that NRM will win big across the country, because I think just last week I was in Karamoja, for example. The only candidate in Karamoja is President Museveni. This I can tell you, and the 15th is not very far from now. I've had some people here disputing crowds, that crowds do not reflect numbers. These crowds, you see, when you go for a mobilization, for example, a political rally. I attended President Museveni's rally in Busia. And I've also seen some areas when Bwowe went to Kotido, I was also in Kotido. When you put music running around the district, it is obvious that people, music excites people. Events excite people. When you offer a lorry for people to join and go to the rally, people will join in. Because
number of artists more than the NRM rally.
Now, I'm not talking about artists. First, let me drive my point home. So when we talk about numbers, the NRM presidential candidate has drawn the biggest number of crowds in all districts. If you looked at what happened in Busia, if you looked at the numbers that were in Kapchorwa, in Koboko district, but when we put these rallies aside, let us now go to structures. In the 72 villages of Uganda, NRM has 63 leaders. NRM has, in every village, we have 63 leaders. The team of NRM has been mobilizing in villages and talking to 63 people to go and mobilize the broader base of the village. Just assume that every of these 63 leaders, everyone picked 5 people, in-laws, friends and family members, 5 people to go and vote on the polling day. Who is going to be in position to win? So I think NUP should do focus, because I'm talking about NUP because they are the most close opponents of the NRM. They should focus on building structures, and then we shall see real competition. But as far as I'm concerned with this coming election, NRM is going to win big. In presidency, it's going to actually be the biggest win if you are having facts with what is on ground. And then when you get back to these positions in local government, like Moses told you, nobody not field candidates. They field very few candidates in most of the districts. Some districts they don't have candidates even for chairperson LC5. So and NRM is counting on flag bearers, its leaders on the ground, plus the structures to mobilize. So it is going to be a big win.
I've been asking this question of NRM people. Now you are a young NRM person. If you have a feeling that NRM is going to win, then why has it been necessary to beat up opposition people? They don't have structures, they are not a threat, they are not anything.
I don't think NRM beats people. NRM has never gone on the streets to beat people.
That is true.
Yes. When security, beats people on the street, you cannot say NRM is beating people.
Which is true.
NRM is mobilizing the people. In fact, most often
I'm inviting you to condemn the violence and the
I
beating.
very much. I condemn. By the way, I distance myself from the violence we have in this country. I have that you can go and review on my social media platforms. Many often times I have rejected, I have condemned. Being a journalist, I don't feel nice when they're beating journalists on the streets of this country. And you cannot attribute that to the NRM. Sometimes security acts on their own. You cannot entirely put it on NRM.
Security acting on its
Not
own.
entirely.
Yes.
When the NRA is in charge. No, that's
There is
indiscipline.
indiscipline. And you see-
indiscipline of security under NRA.
Some people
Moses.
in a no throwing stones at police.
Oh yeah, that has been conceded. But the manner in which the national security is operating, and you guys hold the command for it, and then you say indiscipline and out of charge. No, you guys are completely outrageous.
Oremu with the microphone. You saw what happened in Gulu. Did
Yes.
you come out and condemn it as well?
Very much, very much. You can talk to people who are close to me on my WhatsApp statuses, on my social media platforms. I have condemned. You see,
So
we need to deconstruct. We need to.
Those structures you have out there. Do you have people promoting the view that we should not have discipline, we should not have violence, we should not have indiscipline? That we can sit down the way we sit on it.
Very much.
We
Actually,
even have an RDC here, and you know he's.
Oscar, if you're talking about tolerance, I want to inform you this morning that the word tolerance actually makes sense in NRM, but it doesn't make sense in NUP. I can tell you, I have colleagues in the National Unity Platform who cannot look me eye into eye, and that is very unfortunate. That's why we are talking about peace. We need a country that is peaceful. We need to have conversations taking place. We need to pray for our country.
Okay.
So no, but I have offended it. I have offended them. How is it a problem for me to belong to NRM? You see, the narrative of dogmatic NUP leaders that everyone must subscribe to NUP is something that is very dangerous. It's the one setting. It is the one setting a time bomb. Yes, we must tolerate.
Does he realize how his rhetoric disempowers him from playing that role?
No, it doesn't. I'm saying we shouldn't be dogmatic. If it shouldn't be a crime for me to be in NRM,
But you're being
and I should
dogmatic.
respect you. How am I being dogmatic?
By
Thank
parroting the narratives that
No.
He's allowed to do that.
No. I am.
Fred, let's go to
playing
Fred.
the role of the
No, but
peace ambassador that
he's
you want
allowed to do that. He's
No.
expressing an opinion.
You see, on top of pursuing the peace that we are
The point
pursuing,
is that
I
supposed to
subscribe to the
look
NRM.
for who
Yeah.
he is, not
And
claims
I
to be.
don't think it should be a crime for me not to be in NUP. I have my right. So you being in NUP, me being in NRM should never draw a boundary between our interaction.
Mobilize for NRM without
Bwowe is
presenting
on
yourself as
No,
someone,
no.
leading the
Even-
message of peace.
Even NRM,
tolerance.
even NRM should
Benjamin,
spread
pause,
peace.
Pause. Let's go to Fred Bwowe here.
Thank you, Oscar.
Instead of asking you, will NRM win big, we could take us into the next question. Saying, how is the opposition doing, in your opinion?
Oscar, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with colleagues, and I want to congratulate the country to have reached far in terms of campaign. Those who are involved in the campaign, I think it is 3 days to go.
Tuesday.
Even if it is Thursday, it is 3 days to go. So I think all the groups have put up their act together. I just came this morning from Eastern. I was in the entire Tiso. I was in Bukedia. I was in Bugisu, trying to continue guide the RDCs as a commissioner on how they should make sure that there is safe, free, and fair elections. But when you were presenting here, I got a bit surprised. Because Oscar, when he talks about violence, it's as if we are singing a chorus. I thought...
Is it as if we're saying what?
A chorus, when you are singers, one time I was in school choir. There's this thing they sing as a chorus, the main theme. You can't talk about violence and you say violence is this side. You have been watching clips from these campaigns because you cannot be everywhere. I want to I have not seen a clip where security agencies have told these political actors to follow a certain line, for instance, a direction, and they have complied, and then there's violence. I've not seen that clip. If you have, let us share. Because, for instance, we have the police, which is the security leading this operation. Once they have advised you that this is the direction to follow, and you say, for me, I must pass here. I was imagining, what should the security agencies do? Get the Quran and the Bible and pray? Because the name of the police, at least it is not police charity or police religion. It is a police force.
Take them to court. Charge.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes those people feel that you're giving them the wrong way. That, you have disenfranchised them. There's one leader, you allow them to go there.
That may be true.
And another one, you put them around.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Once a rally is going to come to a district, the district security committee sits and invites stakeholders of that political party or candidate, and then they agree on the route march where they're going to pass. I can give an example. Although yesterday, but one, it was, I think, at 8. Some of these are not fair. FDC candidate is supposed to be in Bwowe yesterday and today, I think. Can you imagine they came to look for, to discuss for this security route at 8 p.m. And the district security committee was saying, but we have been here the whole week. Why do you come in the last minute and last hour at night? But of course, they are trying to play the victim role. So I would wish to see this candidate who has been to follow a route as agreed in security committee and has complied, and therefore there is violence meted against him or her. 2, if security has said, for instance, you are suspected of this crime, and they have come to arrest you, and you have complied. There is nowhere they cannot arrest you from. Even in your bed, they can pick you from there. So I want to see this Ugandan who was told by police to go to police station to answer some things and has complied, and then violence has been meted to him. Because I don't want us to speak as if we are from Mars. This police comes from us. How is the society of Uganda across board? Across board, how do the people behave? I was here the last election when the boys, my brother Katana's team, set fire on Bukerere Road, side by side. You first pay the other side, then they want you, the vehicle, to pass through the fire. So we sat as a district secretary of Mukono and said, what do we do? My DPC then was called Musio, said, no, let me go and talk to them. The man, as he had started talking to them, somebody had restored on his head. But they have set fire for people to pass through vehicles before, in the middle of the fire.
But those are criminal acts.
Yeah. Yes, and such a situation.
Arrested,
yes,
and charged.
Yes, and when they are arrested and charged, then they say there is violence.
No, people have been arrested.
That does not stop you. And that's what I'm saying.
No, when you're arrested and charged,
yes,
okay, but
and that's why I'm saying.
I don't know if you've been listening earlier. We know someone who's been arrested recently, Sarah Bireete. But I'm just learning now that she hasn't been charged. So,
but Oscar, there's something that is. Oscar, there's something that I think, as you as a moderator and a senior citizen, you should avoid from. If you talk about Sarah Bireete, how many women are in Rosera?
So,
on various cases,
charged.
There is no person that can be processed through the court of Uganda to be remanded without a charge.
That's a good point.
Yes.
So let's.
Yes. Anybody to be sent on remand must have been charged.
Has got to have a charge. Correct. Golova says Moses Birahanga's presentation would be great if NUP, like FDC before it, were failing to find candidates in an environment where they are free to mobilize. Presumably, Mr. Bwowe does not know that many local NUP mobilizers are in detention. Mr. Katana should tell him. Then Norman Magembe on X, formerly Twitter, says, good leader brags about jobs, human rights, medicine in hospitals, rule of law, and so on. But corruption and other mismanagement, because of that, Moses would rather brag about NRM numbers since Chiamba Bo as a party, not the common people. So let's...
I hope that did he want me to say to my own question?
Many times you said your own question.
That's why people, that's why people fail in exams.
Is mindful of your established conduct of setting your own questions.
I never failed in exams. That's why I'm where I am. So I would answer the questions as they have been asked. So I could have talked about those issues.
Benjamin, respond to Mr. Bamwine.
I think
Could then we can make a rebuttal. Then two, I am sympathizing with voters in this country because I saw the arguments around more so to Katana. Mr. Chagon, I think it was yesterday but one. He was being interviewed and he said, even if I win 99%, they're not going to announce me. Now, Katana here is saying they are going to win. Now, whom should the voter listen to? The candidate has said, even if I win 99%, I'm not going to be declared. Katana is saying, no, we are winning. We have.
The question is not winning, but being declared, I think. That's
what I'm trying. You see, we are communicating with the public.
It's going to build a demonstration that I'm going to win by will declare me. So whatever they declare is wrong.
No, I just.
Let's allow him to make
I wish his press. So really, to me, the vote at the end of the day, this is an election whereby candidates should be telling us what they are going to do and convince the country to be voted. But in a situation whereby people, because he said they are not going to announce me, and that's not the problem. We want to use this platform for the future, which is starting on the 15th. Now, I thought you were a candidate saying, people vote for me, I'm going to do ABC. I say, for us, we are trying to use this platform for the future, which is beginning on 15th. My RDCs and whom I supervise, we are chairpersons of the district security committees and the district intelligence committees. And these agencies are paid specifically by government to monitor all of you. And the area and the signal warnings are
Serve all of us.
yes, the whole country. The whole country, even the Moses and others. Every person, by the way, is being monitored by intelligence. And the intelligence is indicating that actually the intention is not for NUP to contest and win. The intention is to use it to get a review of how they can start violence.
And you know, a lot of us contest that kind of intelligence, and even leaders in the intelligence world said all these things are being cooked to make money. I think you've heard of that.
I don't know.
But hold on, you're going to come next on the microphone.
So, once we have intelligence, that although Mr. Katana comes here on Capital Gang, but he's just trying to pass a message that yes, on 15th for us we are ready to unite the country into friends. And I'm trying to tell you that I chair intelligence. Now Oscar is doubting our intelligence, which has kept the country for 40 years.
No, but we've been told you create some intelligence so that you create a threat and so on. And I'm not the one who said this.
No, but Oscar,
it's one of your leaders that said it.
But Oscar,
Moses, can you wait and let Katana respond first?
So to me,
pause there and Katana speaks.
Thank you, Oscar. And I think even the statements of Bamwine clearly indicate the state of mind, the thinking process of his team. that for them, this is not a democracy.
And the level of threats, he likes to be threatening.
Yes, and they are monitoring citizens. The role of intelligence is not to control citizens, to monitor them, but to monitor crime, to monitor incidents that may relate to crime, but not to monitor citizens. But in addition to that, I would like to begin by deconstructing the misleading hypothesis that because NUP does not have a candidate, for example, in the constituency of Kasaija, that the NUP presidential candidate cannot win. In 2021, I'll give an example of Kamuli district. The NUP as a party did not get any councillor, did not get any chairperson, did not get a member of parliament, but the presidential candidate won with 51% in that particular district, and so many other districts. So, but is Kamuli an urban district?
So your microphone
yes,
is on.
Yeah, the point is that the hypothesis is misleading and does not paint the accurate picture. But number two, Bamwine is talking about routes, venues. I think the citizens should be able to, first of all, understand the dishonesty in that. And I'll give two examples. The other day we were supposed to have a rally in Chishishi. At 1:30, our area coordinator received a call from the RDC of Kanungu district and said that venue has now been booked by, I think she's the deputy treasurer of NRM, I forgot her name, Chatuheire, something, that she's going to have an event at that venue. Now, because the RDCs and the security infrastructure have been drawn into this partisan politics on the side of NRM, their job is to frustrate NUP and other opposition parties, but also to give advantage to NRM over its opponents. And while considering these requests for venue, for routes, they have that in mind. And they come up with the decisions that are aimed at frustrating us. In Mukono yesterday, most of the venues that our people had booked were cancelled at the last minute, except one that was eventually allowed. And because the people in charge, the priests withstood the pressure from the RDC and the DPC who were telling them not to clear the venue. Most of the venues that had been booked, they were frustrated at the last minute. So my brother was talking about the absence of my brother, the one who claims to be speaking for peace, about the absence of structures. We have had our teams go to form structures in different parts of the country, and they are arrested. Just for trying to establish local committees, they are arrested. So if you want to propagate peace, you must begin by propagating equal treatment before the law. For as long as the system is designed to disadvantage some groups, they will resist, and we'll have a breakdown of peace because of that resistance. Number two is for the population to understand the fear-mongering that is being propagated by the NRM side. I have not seen people from any other group that is talking about impending war, and but every election cycle that we have, in an attempt by the NRM to justify deployment of violence, they always create an impression that there is a group that is trying to destabilize the security of the country. In 1996 elections, they said Semogerere and Obote were bringing war to Uganda. Yes.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Yes.
He's talking about any person who is trying to promote insecurity. Your candidate, he was here in Kawimpi Growers. He declared, he said, for us from now on, we are rebels. But let me finish it. Let me repeat it as he said it. As you go home, check on Google. Go as rebels. As you reach home, do all the tactics of rebellion, and there is no any other command.
Is that criminal?
So when the security starts monitoring that those activities,
you are not monitoring.
We are.
You are not monitoring.
Why should we? But what you have already declared.
But Oscar,
you are a rebel.
maybe you have to take.
How should rebels be connected?
Yeah. So for them to be able to justify deployment of violence, they must create propaganda of impending destabilization of peace, breakdown of public order, and then co-opt people like him to move around and talk about peace, preserving peace. If you ask them who is sponsoring the campaign, it will lead you to the meeting point. It will lead you to the meeting point of the police, of the army, of the NRM, and all sorts of things. Well, you can say it is not true. It is true, but that's what it is. No, what you're doing is not promoting peace.
Let me first take Fred
What you're doing,
microphone away.
what you're doing is to play on the psyche of the population to justify the violence that you have deployed in this process. And I was giving an example of 1996. They said Semogere and Obote are planning war. In 2001, they said the messages planning war. They deployed security. They killed people in Rukunjiri and other parts of the country.
You were part of them.
How? Do you know how old I was in 2001? In 2001, I was in senior 2.
Benjamin,
I was in senior 2.
Don't respond to Benjamin.
Yes.
Don't respond to because you're leaning on the microphone.
Yes, in 2006. So in all these election cycles, you have had people being arrested in a similar manner that our people were arrested in 2001, kept in jail on charges purportedly of planning to overthrow government. You remember the PRA fiasco. Nobody was ever successfully tried or convicted. We have people who were arrested in 2001. In 2021, the group of Machete, Karanzi, and the rest, they are still in jail.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, they have never been tried. Even when the Supreme Court said, let these people be transferred to the civil courts, they are tried. To date, their trial has never kicked off. You have people, victims of enforced disappearances in the 2021 electoral cycle. Now in this cycle, you have people like Mugumya. They have been missing. Nobody has talked about them. So you cannot come here. If there is anybody that is threatening the peace of this country, it is the people that are using the state infrastructure to do politics. And I always love to mention that when we are making the constitution, when you look at the report of the review commission that informed the discussions in the Constituent Assembly, part of why the delegates and the people of Uganda through the delegates, for example, established the Bill of Rights in our constitution, due process, the intention was not to drag Uganda back to the days of darkness, because all these claims, when these people are a threat to security, when even the days of Bandagari, you may wish to call it that.
Joseph, your microphone is not on.
The justification was always, even through the course of history, every time the state has gone rogue, and is trying to control the population, it must come up with false claims of people trying to destabilize peace and order, and then they rely on that to rain terror on the population, and that's what the NRM is doing. That's even now as we speak, most of our candidates for LC3 have been arrested, not presented in any court.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman contesting here, for example, in Nakurabi, I forget his name. There are several, and others are in hiding. Most of our local council candidates.
I don't know that you can accuse NRM, but certainly you can accuse Bamwine with those threats of insecurity and so on.
No, but you see,
he's the one who vents those threats.
The NRM and the state in Uganda now have become one.
Thank you. PRO of the Electoral Commission, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Oscar, and I'm glad to be here. Amongst
you look very cold and very, jacketed up. Should we worry? Is that the way the EC is preparing itself for the election? You look cold and miserable.
Miserable, no, cold perhaps, but
cold perhaps, but not miserable.
No, not at all, not at all. There is no cause.
Well, most welcome, Mr. Muchunguzi. Our final topic was how is the Electoral Commission prepared for the election? And it is a genuine question that you need to answer, because in the last election, Kampala got their voting materials at 2 p.m. And yet the Electoral Commission is right here in the center of Kampala. So do you think this time round, Kampala and all other places can get their election material?
Thank you very
morning straight away.
Thank you very much, Oscar, and I'm glad to be here. Every staff member of the Electoral Commission is everywhere, all over, doing the last minute, engagements. A number of my colleagues are on radio stations all over. I started with a radio station not far away from where you are. Certainly I would have been here from the beginning, but I was also tuning in once in. Yes, exactly. So that's why I'm here to answer my brother Katana, who started off with his comment. But to just let the country know that the Electoral Commission is ready. Everything that is needed for the general elections, beginning with the first polls on the 15th of January, next week on Thursday, are in place. As I speak today, materials are already arriving at the district headquarters, district offices across the country. The Electoral Commission flagged off the dispatch of all these materials, ballot papers, boxes that contain all the sensitive materials for use across the 50,000 polling stations across the country. So that by the morning of the 15th, all required materials with the staff of the commission to handle and conduct the elections will be there. Every general election is an improvement on a previous one. And at the end of every general election, the commission sits and looks at lessons learned. What worked, what didn't work, what could have worked better, with an aim of ensuring that the general election that comes after that one has addressed itself to all the key issues that need to be addressed. So I want to say that the commitment of the Electoral Commission is to make sure that no area receives materials late. In fact, I should say that the Commission does not sit and plan and say that on this occasion, this particular area will receive materials in the afternoon and this one will receive materials at 7 a.m. If it ever happens, or if it happened, it wasn't by design or by deliberate action. It will have happened because of circumstances that would be beyond the Commission's ability to deliver them on time. But on this occasion, I want to say that the flagging off of these materials already started. Already they are arriving at the districts, and we are set. The materials are there. The staff of the Commission have been recruited and trained. The necessary equipment, especially the biometric voter verification kits, came in the country. The trainings of the machine operators has been ongoing. They are now undergoing the last refresher training on the machines to make sure that nothing is left to chance, to enable Ugandans to cast their ballots in time, in a peaceful environment, and that the choices they make will reflect the will that they have to choose their leaders. So I can say without any few controls that we are set.
Yes. And this question has been hanging around. How are you going to deal with people in security, or people like Bwowe here who say go home, and people like Katana say follow the law that says you can be away so long as you're 20 meters away? What's the Electoral Commission's recommendation?
You see, I think people have chosen to misrepresent the guidance of the Electoral Commission on this matter. First, the Commission has said that it is very much aware of the law, including the 20 meters that are being talked about. Very much aware. The message of the Commission, through the chairperson of the Commission, Justice Bebakama Mugenyi, has been on the practicalities that prevail on the polling stations that we know. And this is what happens. Number one, that you have centers that have about, say 10 polling stations in one space, especially like in these urban centers. And each polling station has got a maximum of 600 people. If you tell 600 people, each one of them to stay after polling, you're talking about 6,000 people in a space that is limited. Now, in a space of that nature, where you are not able to organize people, to tell them what to do, and they do it, and you know that they are not in a church or in a mosque where we say stand up, we stand, sit down, we sit down, sing, we sing, that even with the best of intentions, when you are saying that their presence around the polling station after polling that is meant to ensure that they protect the vote, they can actually lead to spoiling the vote by the conduct that they will by the manner in which they will conduct themselves. So the message, which is advisory, is rooted in the realities and practical realities on the ground, not on the matter of the law.
Thank you for clearing
So,
Julia, just 1 second. So why has it been necessary to say it this year? Because we've had all these elections going forward, and it has not been made necessary. I've been at a poll, and I've hung around and went home. And then people come back in the evening to count. So why is it necessary to make a mountain out of it?
And you see, that's what we're saying. You see, lessons from the past. There have been a number of cases in the past elections where ballot and polling materials were spoiled by goons and acts of people that were hanging around the polling station. The polling stations, and there are a number of them, about 8 cases that I saw at the last count. But on the question of the protection and security of the interests of the candidate, the Commission has been saying, and continues to say, that the people that are in the law to protect and ensure that the interests of a candidate are secure are clear in the law. They are the agents. Yeah. They are allowed within the polling stations. They are defined. It is them that have the right to question, to ask, to seek clarification, and even
the rest of us should be away.
And in any case, at the end of the election, after polling, after vote counting, the most important document that comes from a polling station, which is the declaration form, is handed over to the agents of the candidates. Yeah. It is not handed over to some people that are standing 100 meters, 20 meters, and that and see, because the critical document is that declaration form, and the person who signs this is the agent. Now, the commission.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Now, take an example.
Yes.
Oscar here has gone to vote in Chigo in Mutongo. Do I take my national ID and that's it? I take myself and my ID.
When you go to the polls, you are
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning,
8:30 a.m. I'm walking there.
At the moment, what is happening? You need to have picked your voter allocation slip.
Where can I pick it?
From the parish. We have staff at the parish level, parish supervisors. Their duty is twofold: to give out these voter allocation slips to each one of the 21.6 million registered voters, and in handing over that receipt,
repeat that for people to listen. So every person
is entitled to a voter allocation slip, because the voter allocation slip is an extract of the voters register. The staff of the commission, who are parish supervisors that are in every parish, are currently giving out these voter allocation slips. And when they give out this slip, they tell you when the voting dates are, they tell you what you need to do, they tell you how not to spoil a ballot. And that kind of voter education is person to person in their languages. If you don't have, then, or it started about 2 weeks ago, and this has been ongoing. Okay. Or you can go with your national ID if you have it. But even if you don't have both, the voter allocation slip, the national ID, but you're on the national voters register, the polling officials will be able to check you against the national voters register, and then will take you through the process of verification that we will speak about using the biometric voter verification machine, which is mandatory on this occasion, whose law and instrument effecting the mandatory use has been signed by the Minister responsible for Justice, and then you proceed to be verified using your thumbprints. If you don't have thumbprints, using your biometrics on the eyes, the facial recognition, the iris, and then thereafter you'll be handed over 3 ballot papers for the presidential election and parliamentary elections. But those ballot papers will also first be scanned on their barcode to confirm and ensure that they are the ballot papers for that polling station. They have not been introduced from anywhere else. And then you proceed, go through the normal routine, cast tick.
Just a couple more questions to you.
Yes. No, they will not be rejected, but you have to answer why he is carrying.
Moses is not on microphone. So
but yes, I'm listening to you, Oscar.
So the 2 things that come to my mind.
Yes.
The NUP has been saying that you have refused to hand to them the register. But are you saying you have handed the register to everyone and it is there now where I'm going to vote from?
So the commission has, in compliance with the requirements of the law, has and is giving out to the national voters the final one. Remember that on nomination, each of the presidential candidates, for instance, was given a soft copy of the national voters register at that point for use during that interim period. And the law requires that before polling,
14 days
before polling day, that the hard copy national voters register will be handed over to the presidential candidates. And in compliance with that, the commission has started already. I think by the end of today, all the presidential candidates will have received the.
Not 14 days.
No. I'm talking about the substance of the principle of that law, that the voters register should be in the possession of the candidates,
and by the end of today, it will have happened.
Yes.
Final question.
Yes.
And this is a bit tongue-in-cheek.
Thank you.
Tongue-in-cheek, Mulengera style. Have you talked to UEDCL? You know, they are my friends. But have you talked to them? So will Uganda have electricity for your machines to run?
No, first of all, the machines have addressed a number of issues.
Yeah.
The machine that we're using on this occasion addressed a number of issues that we are experienced in the past. Number one is on the lifespan of the battery on the machine. It lasts over 16 hours. Right. And the commission is deploying 2 machines per polling station, and those machines are coming alongside the power bank. So you have a combined amount of time for the machines to operate of over 60 hours, because if you have 16 plus 16 times 16.
And the poll opens at 7 a.m.?
The poll opens at 7 a.m.
Closes at what time?
At 4 p.m.
At 4 p.m.
As long as there are 10 people, and that's why we are calling upon voters to wake up and go to cast their ballots.
So long as there are 10 people,
the polls will open, but anybody found in the line at 4 p.m. will be allowed to vote. The police constable, the constables at the police station, at the polling station, will stand behind the last person that was in the line at 4 p.m. and nobody will be denied opportunity to vote as long as they are at the polling station at 4 p.m.
Thank you very much. Joseph Ocheno, you're on microphone.
Everyone has a watch, exactly. Yes, the watches and the means.
I need to switch off this microphone. It's being diversionary.
Yes.
Joseph Ocheno.
It's a delight seeing. It's a delight seeing my good friend Julius here. Just to say that for clarification, Sarah Bireete was actually charged, and interestingly, the particulars of the charges are that she obtained unlawfully some funny personal data in contrary to the provisions of some legislation, except that apparently this was something to do with the National Voters Information controlled and processed by the Electoral Commission without prior consent of the said Electoral Commission. As I understand it, without prejudice. I told you earlier that unfortunately she was not able to be granted bail. But interestingly, good enough since Julius is here. I don't know whether Julius is amongst the complainant or whoever they are. I don't know. Julius, you need to help us with this. But I think it's extremely unfortunate.
Sarah Bireete will have a substantial, for her. But now we have him for just a few minutes.
Indeed, and the reason why I'm
want to find out
the reason why I'm putting that in context is if this is part of this, and the Electoral Commission did not comply to the 14 days provision for providing us with the necessary information, as it were, is extremely unfortunate. But look, looking at everything else, information coming from the Electoral Commission seems to be very precise, and Simon is a very good communicator of it. My concern still is the dubious. Julius. Simon is another good friend of mine, of course, who's the chairman.
No, Simon has been here.
And he's a fantastic guy, the chairman.
That's Kasiate.
Simon Kasiate is another very fantastic friend. I saw him somewhere. But look, Julius, the 20-meter thing in Nagongera, it's official that my polling station does not require many. It's Rock Hill Primary School, another one is Mahanga Primary School, another one is St. Joseph's Primary School. For you to suggest that these things are circumstantial and leave voters and citizens vague like you do is extremely unfortunate. You need to say that people should be able to act in conformity with the law. And the law requires that it's 20 meters and 20 meters. If circumstances arise and you know there are particular polling stations which don't meet that, why did you gazette them? Now, in any case, if you've gazetted polling stations which you consider would bring complications, identify them, name them, publicize them, and let the citizens know that in the particular said polling stations, you are required, on the basis of the kind of concern that might arise, to move within maybe 50 meters.
Derek.
Yes.
On microphone. There's a Tom Elvis Okia says, but why has the Uganda Electoral Commission insisted on people having to walk looking for voter slips, yet some Ugandans have created digital platforms to ease this dilemma, and they have arrested them.
How do you tell people to go away, and yet the law provides for them to stay within 20 meters?
He said it's advisory.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's supposed to be. You're supposed to follow the law, the way it is. You do not. What informs you? What informs your decision?
Give him some slack. He has said they are cognizant of the law, and they can advise that. Please go on.
No, why would you? Why would you advise people to break the law?
Can I answer that?
Moses wants to answer on behalf of
But you know, we don't have a lot of time.
That is a very controversial matter, and the Electoral Commission of all people should come out strongly to say, if you would like to stay, the law provides for you to stay. Please stay.
I think Julius has said
That's not what
like
he said. He's advising people to go home.
Advisory. But also, I want to add that Section 50 of the Electoral Commission Act, one day you can ask a lawyer to help you.
You are not a lawyer.
Yes, because you are not
very, very quickly, because we don't have time.
Give the Electoral Commission what they call special powers of the Commission to not breach the law. Through this special, if I read it all,
Of which law?
Electoral Commission Act, Section 51 says, where during the course of an election it appears to the Commission that by reason of any mistake, miscalculation, emergency, or unusual or unforeseen circumstances, any of the provisions of this Act, including that what the one referred to, or any law relating to the election, other than the Constitution, does not accord with the exigencies of the situation.
Thank you.
Wait. The Commission may by particular or general. No. Let me finish it. What everybody's talking about this thing?
Because he's even misleading the listeners.
The Electoral Commission has power, and Julius will come back.
Is in respect to other factors.
We don't have time. And it's been discussed.
And counting.
Benjamin Katana, you're not on my
Oscar, first of all, I want to thank the Electoral Commission so far, where they have reached. But voting is on 15th. Me, I want to advise the remaining days continue being aggressive on the issue of voter education. I don't know what happens in this country. Some people become overzealous and he takes a candidate beyond the box, and that becomes an invalid vote. I was in Karamoja. They lost 45,000 votes in the last election. So the issue of voter education should continue up to the last minute. So that we reduce on the voter, because I saw even invalid votes in Parliament. So you can see the extent. When they were voting the Speaker, they had some invalid votes. Then too, much as for you and the Electoral Commission and your players, but for us as security, we have a role which is not decentralized. In the wisdom of the Electoral Commission, and the law it is 20 meters. But if there is an intelligence estimate as government, your government has not gone to sleep. You have elections, but the government of Uganda will remain functioning.
And that's
so the state and security must remain working. No, I'm not talking for the party. I speak.
Benjamin, I think he's correct in giving that.
No.
For example, if there's a fracas,
yes.
If there are people fighting,
and
then they'll be able to send them.
So once there is a security estimate indicating that Mr. Katana, as I was seeing him in the studio, is likely to breach the peace, or is about to injure himself, it is the responsibility of security agencies to come and put the coalitions.
But we need to discuss this.
Yes,
that is an illegality.
Which one?
Because if he does something wrong, you charge him.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're saying you will charge him before he has done it.
No. I'm saying, I want to repeat again. That's why I'm saying the police even can.
He wants to charge you before.
No. That's why there is even. Have you heard of something called the preventive arrest?
Moses Biaruhanga is about to steal his own yogurt. Security has told you once
the estimate indicates that there is likely to breach of peace,
Benjamin
you
Katana.
can even do the preventive.
2 minutes, Benjamin Katana, because I want to give microphone
Yes,
back to you.
the starting point, of course, is that the Electoral Commission.
Go to the microphone.
The Electoral Commission must be reminded that its role is compliance with the law.
Yeah.
It doesn't make law, and it is not their business to go around advising things that are outside the law. Even the provision that Moses is trying to point to is in reference to different circumstances. For example, if there has been an earthquake and on that day people are not able to vote, the Electoral Commission can give it the next day. But that is not the most important thing.
No, it isn't.
Yes, there is also information that in some places they are not going to deploy BVVK. There have been meetings in some districts, and there has been a conclusion that in these specific sub-counties, we are not going to use BVVK. So we would like to get commitment from the Electoral Commission that it's the deployment of that equipment is not going to be in some places, and in some places people will vote the way they want. Then the other one is about the multiple entries in the registers. Because, if I'm wrong, you will correct me, these machines, they are restricted to a specific polling station. If, for example, Moses, like most NRM do, is on the register of Kamwocha and on the register of Summit View, how is the BVVK going to help us stop him from voting at the two polling stations? Because we have already identified in the system, in the registers, that there are people who appear multiple times. The final point, Oscar, is about they sent a Bireete for you now. The challenge is that the security infrastructure at the district level, which is shared by another DC, who is clearly partisan, like you can tell from the comments of Bwowe on this show, is going to find excuses to say for us we are enforcing state security to disadvantage opponents of the regime. That they need to be reminded that regardless of where they belong, they have a duty to observe the law. Because now they have...
So who are you telling this? The Electoral Commission?
Every actor. These RDCs,
we have
Electoral Commission
here, yes.
Yeah, the echo chamber that they have been in, the CDF, the Chairman Electoral Commission of go home after voting, has no justification under the law.
Okay.
It has no basis.
So now let's go to...
They should abide by the law. As long as a person has not violated the law, they have a right to remain at the polling station, provided they observe the 20 meters distance from the polling table.
So one of the game changers in this election is the mandatory deployment and use of the biometric voter verification machine. Because, as has been said, every voter will have to first be verified before they are given ballot papers. Every ballot paper at a polling station will have to be verified before it is given to a voter. At the closure of the polls, before counting, all ballot papers that have been cast into that ballot box will be checked again and verified to make sure that there was no intrusion or introduction of a foreign ballot paper. And after the declaration form has been signed, it also be taken a picture of and kept on this biometric voter verification machine.
And will it be pinned up as well?
Absolutely, in accordance with the law. Now, the place where results come from is the polling station. And when you ensure...
Where do you pin it?
When you have ensured integrity at the polling station, where results come from, results don't come from anywhere else. They come from the polling station. That's why every effort has been made and is being made to make sure that there is no doubt at all about the integrity and the credibility and the factual nature of the results that will come at each of these polling stations. No one will be able to vote more than once. The principle of one man, one woman, one vote is meant to be achieved to the greatest extent possible through the deployment of this biometric machine. And the law that has been signed into, by the minister does not have any exclusions of places where the machine is not meant to be deployed. These machines are going to be deployed in all the 50,000 plus polling stations across the country, and every voter will have to be verified through the machine. So I hope that answers Ndukatana's question of supposed places where there is not supposed to be the deployment of the...
Will the results be announced at the polling station?
Good point.
Because Katana's candidate is saying for him he will win, but it will not be announced. So will he not be announced at the polling station?
Absolutely. At the polling station, everyone who is there and every agent of the candidate who is there will know what results have been obtained by which candidate at that polling station. And that is where the facts are.
That's really impressive. If you don't mind, that's really impressive.
Transmission from the districts to the final tally center.
The results that are transmitted, the results that are transmitted are the results that come from the polling station, not anywhere else.
And so long as you have your declaration
because of lack of transparency.
No, the transparency is there with the declaration form.
For example, the law requires the Electoral Commission to give us tally sheets from the districts, but they have not been doing so, and we have written to them asking them to do so this time.
Everything that must be done in accordance with the law will definitely be done in accordance with the law.
And because this time they are digital, it will be a lot easier.
But somebody was asking about whether one has to go and get the voter allocation slips manually. There is a provision online for those who have digital access to check their polling stations on the website of the Electoral Commission. The website of the Electoral Commission, www.ec.or.ug. A window will open that shows check your particulars, voting location. When you enter your NIN number or when you enter your voter location number, it will bring those particulars.
So, excellent. Since you say that,
first of all, hold on. Were you giving some more information?
Yes. Yeah, so that is so that's the point that I wanted to make in terms of the integrity at the polling station, which is the most critical point. The point on voter education and making sure that we deal with the question of invalid votes is very, very key, very significant. And that's why we will not relent, and we're not relenting. And that's why we're telling our parish supervisors, as they hand over the voter allocation slips, they go the extra mile of also showing, because we have printed out materials to show people how to correctly mark a ballot paper. We do not want to see invalid votes and spoiled ballots taking the position of number 3 in the total tally of the results. That you have number 1, number 2, and then the next one is invalid votes. We want to make sure that we reduce them. Voter education is critical at all times, and will not.
Just one question from you and one from Joseph. The son Subuga in Namasuba says the people he voted with in 2021 in Namasuba, now they've been told that they will, from their location slip, that they will vote in Mpigi. So should they wake up early morning and go to Mpigi, or this is not correct? Joseph, what was your question?
That is rather impressive that the finality Julius gives on the results from the polling stations. So if that's the case then, and it's been one of the big contentions, perhaps we would suggest that we don't necessarily need a national polling center, and that if journalists like my good friend here comes out with the figures across the country, that automatically should reflect.
No, the law also, the law is also very clear on who the returning officer for presidential elections are, and the duties and responsibility of that.
Because part of the argument has been that figures just change between the polling stations.
The law provides that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission is the national returning officer.
You respond to that? That figures change between the polling centers.
I am not aware of any figures that change from the polling. The results that are tallied at the National Tally Center are the results. No. I am not, and there is no evidence of such allegation that you can find somebody obtaining a certain figure
and different location. Julius, different location from where you voted for. Is this case of Namasuba correct or not?
I mean, those are cases that we would want to see, because I mean, you say it, but I mean, again, if
you don't have it with you.
because what we've taken, the commission has taken time to clean up the National Voters Register. The visitor we have today is not an exercise of yesterday. It started last year in January, February, with the update process, with the display at the polling stations, with the people coming and saying that this person died, with people coming and saying this person appears more than once.
And alleged polling stations at prisons.
And it has gone through this process up to, and that's why it has taken long to make sure that the voters register that is available for use is a credible voters register.
Thank you so much.
But the final point, Oscar, is to appeal to Ugandans to continue to keep peace and to be law abiding as we go in this final phase of the campaigns and as we go to the polls. Let nobody engage themselves. Let nobody engage in any activity that can cause violence or that is criminal or that is against the law.
Yeah.
So we are appealing for peaceful conduct. We are appealing for everybody to act within the law.
Assuming we presume that applies to you as well.
Everybody means everybody, including the Electoral Commission.
Thank you for making time.